Okay, welcome to the third installment of 12 Tone Warrior. And in this episode, we are going to be getting into it, actually laying hands on the piano and other keyboard parts and learning a few things. So I chose 3 songs for us to start out with in learning how to play them in a cover band. And I classify songs that I do in cover bands basically in 3 categories. The first category, category A, would be songs that have a clearly identified and audible keyboard part on the original recording, and that's basically what you learn to play. These are usually fairly simple parts. It may involve a lead or not involve a lead, but it usually just involves 1 or 2 sounds, usually covered by your 2 keyboards, and the song is fairly straightforward. The second category of songs are songs you may be given that to play with the band that do not have a keyboard part in them at all, or at the very least an audible, clear keyboard part that you can hear, figure out the notes, So you're going to be getting songs like that. And as a keyboard player, your response to the band should never be something like, well, what do I do? Do I walk off the stage and go have a smoke? Or, you're going to play on every song, and your automatic response should really just be nothing. Just, yeah, okay, we're going to do that song. I'm good with it. And then you figure out what to do. Unless the band has specific instructions for you on what they would like you to do. Normally that wouldn't happen. The band wants to just do the song, and you just figure out what you're going to do with it, what you think will make it sound best with keyboard parts. So you definitely don't want to put something in there that sounds weird or doesn't belong. So I chose the Doobie Brothers' Listen to the Music as the song for this example. And by the way, for the first example, I chose Jackson Browne's Doctor My Eyes. That's going to be the category A song, the one that has a keyboard part in it that we're going to learn. The second one's going to be the Doobie Brothers' Listen to the Music that does not have a keyboard part in it, and we're going to put one in. We're going to make one up. And then the third category of songs, this is sort of like the more complex problem ones that you have to work out. Basically, it's more like category A, except that it doesn't just involve like a simple piano part like the Doctor My Eyes did. It's more involved. You got a lot more going on. You may have to have 2 or 3 different sounds going on, not typical piano or organ sounds, but maybe synth sounds, and you may have to make a program switch on one of your boards in the middle of the song. So I classify that as a C category song. Songs that do have audible keyboard parts, but there's a lot going on there that you have to execute and maneuver. And I'm going to pick Toto's Africa as the song we're going to do for that category. You've got a lot of synth parts in there and things. It's more from the early 80s, so you've got a lot more going on synth-wise in that one, keyboard-wise, I would say. So let's get started then. Let's start with the Jackson Browne tune, Doctor My Eyes, and let's get into it. Okay, so for Doctor My Eyes, this song fits into the first category of songs that I mentioned, which is it has a clearly audible piano part and you simply play what you hear on the record. So let's start up without me playing over it. Let's just get into the song here, the first opening bits. So you can hear some bottom end piano there along with some conga. We won't worry about the conga part.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fear.
All right, so we want to get that intro down, and what that intro is, it's really just a vamp or a riff you're playing on the piano, and it is repeated throughout the song. But when the song opens up and always goes back to that opening part many times throughout the song. That piano part you're playing, that's the audible thing people are hearing. They're hearing that piano riff before they hear the vocals. Once the vocals come in, you're into the song, and at that point you're basically comping. So let's start out. It's in F, and you have this rocking action going on between your pinky and your thumb on those F octaves, kind of like this. Kind of like that. I play it. We tend to play it a little bit slower than it's on the record, but that's what you do. And then on the right hand, you're playing 3 chords. You're playing what is basically an E flat inverted second inversion, right there, and then B flat second inversion, and then F first inversion, or rather root inversion. So. Just like that. And this rocking action between the octaves is what helps keep, when I make that very pronounced, the drummer catches on and we get into the rhythm. When this part isn't being played very loud, sometimes I lose the drummer and the bass player and we fall a little bit out of sync. So this is a song that you, the pianist, are leading off on, and in the case of when I play this with Sheep Dip, I count it off. So let's start again. Let's get into the song. Once we start comping, we're basically doing this, or you're basically playing loosely on your own. You don't have to copy every note that Jackson Browne played when he was singing over the song. And you might not even know what those notes are when you listen to the record. Mainly what you're hearing is Jackson singing the song and playing some piano over it. So basically, you're going to play these comping piano parts. A minor, D minor, B flat. Just simply, like choppy like that at first. But then after a while, you start loosening up a little. All right, so let's start the song up again, and this time I'll play along with it. We're in the comping part. Loosen up a little now. D minor. All right, so let's stop there, and basically we've played the song essentially there, both the verse and chorus, and these parts just repeat again, and that includes a solo. So essentially, you're just doing this, opening up the song, keep that rocking action going. Loosen up. So there's the first part of the song, and if you have that part down, there's very little else to learn, except there's no leads for you as the keyboard player to take here. Essentially, you should have the chords down on this. You should listen to the full song, hear the piano parts, and then play along to the song to get those parts down. If you feel like you're in a rush or you can't figure the chords out by ear, I would recommend going to chordy.com. You can look up the chords there. But for a song like this, you should really be able to pick out the chords by ear. So yeah, I'm not going to go over, I won't name every chord in the song, but I'm just showing you basic playing technique. So let's go through more of the song. So for this part, instead of the full 3 chords, this part after the first chorus just goes B flat to F. And then it back in, like that.
Wandered through this world as each moment has unfurled. I've been waiting to awaken from the dream. People go just where they will. I never noticed them until I got this feeling that it's later than it seems.
Good place for a piano glide.
Tell me what you see. I hear their cries. Just say if it's too late for me.
All right, this part of the song has the 3 chords being done in double time. So or extended double time. So instead we're doubling that up. And then into this guitar solo. So let's continue. Just keep playing the vamp over the guitar solo. So yeah, over that solo, you're still just doing this. And if you want, do another slide. So dramatic piano glisses or slides, they're cool, but you probably want to minimize. You don't want to overdo it with those. Probably once in the song is good, and I would probably do it after the second verse into the chorus. That's where you add some drama in. Now we're back to the intro. Alright, so for the remainder of the song, you're just playing that vamp. And there's just a guitar solo over it, and then you and the band. And then at that point, you and the band have to figure out a way to end the song. And so you come up with an ending, and for us, we just keep going over that vamp with the guitar solo until the guitarist joins in with power chords over those 3 chords. Then we know we're out. So the last time around, we just go... We just end the song like that, with a little drum snap at the end. So that's Doctor My Eyes. It's basically a song where it has a known keyboard or piano part, you listen to it and you play it the best you know how to. And again, you should play it in your natural style and not necessarily in the style that Jackson Browne or anyone else who covers it does. As long as you got the basic feel and swing of that song, you're good to go. All right, for the second category of songs that we're going to do, the Doobie Brothers, Listen to the Music. We're going to make up a keyboard part for that since the song does not actually have one. So what do we do when you're presented with a song that doesn't have a keyboard part in it, you got to put one in? I would handle it like this. If the song is kind of like a more laid back, organic, kind of rootsy thing, something like a Grateful Dead-ish, Allman Brothers, The Band, stuff, Creedence Clearwater. If it's kind of rootsy, I'd go with acoustic piano as the main instrument I use to play on that. And I wouldn't play anything obtuse over it. I just keep it simple, keep it in the rhythmic pattern along with the rhythm guitar player. But for a lot of songs, especially kind of upbeat, happy, kind of snappy, poppy songs like Listen to the Music, I choose to use a Wurlitzer electric piano sound, because this kind of sound, here it is right here. I like to take a little bit of that tremolo off, but yeah, that's the Wurlitzer EP. It's a little different than the Rhodes electric piano. This one has a more kind of plummy, muddy sound, whereas the Rhodes has more of like a crisp bell-like tone. So this sound, I also like to call this a bubblegummy sound that kind of adds a little bit of bubblegum flavor to when you play it along with the rhythm guitarist. And the reason why I think of that is that there's these songs I remember from my childhood by groups like the 1910 Fruit Gum Company with, Yummy, 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 I Got Love in My Tummy, all that wonderful stuff. And they usually had a Wurlitzer piano playing along with the rhythm guitar. Another great example is the opening to Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones. That's Keith Richards' guitar along with Ian Stewart or Nicky Hopkins playing on the Wurlitzer. So it kind of adds this sweet bubblegum kind of flavor to it. For happy poppy songs, it almost sounds like you're kind of skipping down the road chewing bubblegum. It adds this happy kind of sound. And it's not the kind of sound like if someone pulled out a Black Sabbath tune for you to play, you wouldn't play this sound, but it works. It works for a lot of pop songs where you have to add something, pop or rock songs. You have to add something and there's no keyboard part there. And so this whirly sound, this Wurlitzer electric piano works out real nice. So let's get into the Doobie Brothers, Listen to the Music. Let's start out listening to the song at first. Let's see what's there. Song's in the key of E. Lots of good guitar work. Okay, so we basically got a guitar riff or vamp going on, and there's no keyboard part. So what I would do here is just vamp along or play along with that guitar rhythm part. So what I do is I choose instead of an acoustic piano, I choose this Wurlitzer sound, which I think is a really good sound to use as, if there is no keyboard part in the tune, this is a good sound to go to, because it basically stays out of the way of everything else. It kind of undergirds the guitar rhythm. It kind of adds that 1910 Fruit Gum Company kind of bubblegummy sound. Now that may be a sound you don't always want to get, but for a happy bouncy tune like this this to me is the right sound. So what I do is I just go into the riff with everyone else. I kind of play it as closely to the guitar riff as I can. That's it. That's what I do. And then, of course, you got your chord changes there. So this is an E. See? And then you get the chord changes. The C sharp minor, the B major, and then A. So that's it. You just basically try to copy, and I'll play along with that. C sharp minor, B, A. Okay, so here we're in the chorus, and the chorus is basically C sharp minor to A. To F sharp to A. See, there you go. And that's basically the whole tune, except what I also do is I add on the bridge, and that's that kind of mellow part that happens in the middle. I throw in a little Hammond organ there to kind of give it some flavor and give it a little drama. So let's go to that part. Okay, organ part. All right, so basically what I did there to add some drama and, play along with the rest of the band, adding some value to the song, was on that bridge, I went up and right here up to the organ. Lazy falling river, building castles in the sky. And the crowd is growing thicker, and then add some Leslie. Just like that, to add, so that kind of adds a little spice to the song. And then you're back out, you're vamping to the rest of the song, and you find a way to end it. So endings are always a thing that you have to come up with your band, because the studio recording version of a lot of these songs, they fade out, and so your band has the homework of coming up with an ending. Okay, and now for the big hot tamale on the menu tonight. This we're going to do Toto's Africa, and this I classify as a C category song for keyboard players. You've got some work to do on this. This isn't something you'll learn in just an hour or two. You've got some sound design and patchwork to do to match those sounds. And then you've got to learn the song, and you've got some two-hand action. You've got to play some pads while playing an arpeggio or a lead. So this will be a category C song, and it's going to be the toughest one I'm going to present you with today, Toto's Africa. Okay, so for this type of song that we're going to do, which doesn't quite fall into the first two categories. It's more like category A. It has it has audible keyboard parts in it, just like Dr. My Eyes had a audible piano part that you're going to copy. But this one's going to be quite a bit more complicated in that you have more sounds going on and you have very specific parts you have to play. There's very little in this one in the way of improvisation, unless you want to improvise your solo, which I do to just a very mild extent. So for Toto's Africa, which I'm going to use for this example, you have to pick your sounds. So this is a song where you don't just do acoustic piano or organ or any other typical kind of keyboard sound you would have from the 70s. This song is in the early 80s, and there's a lot of synthesizer work in here. So for the main sound, there's the polysynth pad. And I chose on my Yamaha Mox 8 the polysynth pad patch, but I went and edited the sound to give it a softer attack. Because you want this to be a soft pad, not a sharp attack like a horn would have. And you're encouraged to go in and edit your sounds as a professional classic rock keyboardist. You should know how to go in and edit sounds on these machines. So let's get into Africa. We're going to start out, of course, with this synth riff, which is the main riff of the song. And then you have to throw in your sort of gamelan. I don't know what to call this sound. It's either a balafone or a gamelan. It's meant to evoke the jungle of Africa. So it's some kind of an ethnic tuned percussion struck instrument. And what I use on my Kurzweil is this kind of sound. It's actually the xylophone patch, although I think it sounds more like something else, but that's what I use. And it's not the same exact sound that you're going to get on the original recording. So if you're really good at sound design, go ahead and go beyond what I've done here. But this is what I choose. And so basically you're going to alternate these sounds, and you're going to hold down the polysynth pad while plucking away at that gamelan like sound. And the arpeggio up here is just 4 notes that are in a C sharp minor scale. So it's basically, I'm using the G sharp, B, C sharp, and E to arpeggiate between those notes. So let's go and play the song itself, and let's play along with it. There we go. Now you're just playing the polysynth chords. Alright, so let me cut in here and mention that, for a song like this, the production is so immaculate. You're probably not going to get every little nuance that they get. In other words, he not only has that pad sound going on, but maybe has some brass swells or other things. But basically, do it the best you can with the tools you have, because the main idea is to get the essence and the groove of the song and convince the audience out there, yes, this band can play this song. So let's continue with the tune. comes the chorus. 4 chords. C sharp minor, D, A. Okay, so let's stop and review what we just did there for a while on that, especially on that chorus. So you've got 4 chords going on in the chorus. Oh, that's actually F sharp minor, D major, A, E. Say it down in Africa. C sharp minor, E, F sharp minor, and then you're back to the riff. Okay, so those are those parts, and now you're going to go through another verse, and this time the verse only goes through 3 instead of 4 times, and then we're going to come to our solo. So the solo is the most difficult part of this, and I had to come up with a sound. I call it the Africa lead, and it was not something that was already on my Kurzweil. I had to create it. And what I did was I took a kind of fluty sound that I found on here called the toot lead, and I used it for doing Lyle Mays type sounds. And what I did was I added some portamento to that to give it a more flexible synthy sound. Okay, and then what I also did was I added another layer into this, which is that xylophone sound, the gamelan sound. So I can play this sound by itself, the lead sound, and then if I use this modulation wheel, I bring in the gamelan sound layered on top of this, because that's what's going on the recording. After the first line or two of the solo, now whoever is the keyboard player in Toto would, I guess Steve Porcaro maybe, he would then layer MIDI up a sound from another synth module, and that's how he did it. With these modern keyboards, you can just do all kinds of layers endlessly without the need for all this complex MIDI equipment. In other words, so in any case, let's get to the lead. Let's play it first by itself.
The wild dogs cry. There's nothing that 100 men are.
Okay, here comes the lead. Let's give it a listen without me playing. There's that sound layered in. Okay. Now, me not being a crack LA session musician, I try to copy that solo the best I can by ear, and I may not get every note played exactly the same, but I execute. I play it my way. I try to copy the solo the best I can, get all of its expressive nuances. So let's play that part again, and this time I will play my solo over it, and then I will play my solo by itself to show you exactly what I did. I have a tricky patch change here. Okay, so I did my solo over that, and I'll show you, it's a solo, so I can't show you every note, but I basically tried to copy or emulate that solo to the best of my ability, and here's what I came up with. Here's that patch change. Back into the chorus. So basically that's what I came up with, and it seemed to do the job. The band seemed happy with it. And you'll notice I brought in that gamelan part after the first phrase. So right here. See? So that's my way of phrasing the solo. I think I got most of the dynamics and, where the ups and downs were and the basic phrasing of the thing without actually doing it note per note the way Porcaro did it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of 12 Tone Warrior. If you like this video, be sure to share and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time around.